Hi, hello children. How are you all? Welcome back to my class. Today in this class we are going to continue our same lesson of science, that is soil. So in the previous class you have learned what is soil, importance of soil, soil profile and types of soil. Yes, so today in this class we are going to deal with some of the certain points, that is properties of soil, soil and crops and soil erosion. Okay, so let's start with the properties of soil. So the first property of soil is percolation rate of water in soil. So first let us know what is the meaning of percolation. Percolation can be defined as the property of the soil by which it allows the flow of water through it. So the percolation is nothing but it is one of the property of soil by which the soil it allows the flow of water through it. So that is called the percolation water in soil. Okay, so the rate at which water percolates or move through soil may vary in different kinds of soil. So the percolation can be differ from soil to soil. Okay, so there are some soils which do not allow water to percolate because it absorbs the water, but there are some soil which can easily percolate the water or allow it to flow through them. Okay, understood what is the meaning of percolation? Now let us do one activity to see how we can find out the percolation rate. Okay, so for this activity you will need a hollow cylinder or a pipe. Okay, if possible get a small tin can and cut off its bottom. Now place the pipe about 2 centimeter deep in the ground. Now pour 200 ml water in the pipe slowly. Okay, for measuring 200 ml of water you can use any empty 200 ml of bottle. Okay, so now note the time when you start pouring the water. So now first what you have to do, note the time when you start pouring the water. When all the water has percolated leaving the pipe empty, then again note down the time. Okay, so now let us calculate the rate of percolation by using the formula. So what is that formula? Amount of water, so percolation rate is equal to amount of water divided by percolation time. So here amount of water is, it means how much water is percolated. Okay, next percolation time means how much time it has taken to percolate. Okay, so here ml and minute. So ml is nothing but it is calculated in ml. So this amount of water is calculated in ml, whereas the percolation of time it is calculated in minute. Okay, so for example, suppose that for a certain sample of soil it took 20 minutes for 200 ml to percolate. So just imagine that it took 20 minutes to get percolate. Okay, so rate of percolation can be 200 ml. So this is the water, this is the amount of water we have taken, right? We have taken 200 ml of water, so divided by it took 20 minutes. You just imagine it, because as I said you that the percolation rate of soil is differ from each other. So 200 ml divided by 20 minute is equal to 10 ml per minute. Understood children? Okay, now let's move to the another property, that is moisture in soil. So what do you mean by moisture? Moisture is the amount of water that is present in the soil. So moisture, it is the amount of water that is present in the soil. So even a dry soil has some amount of moisture in it. However, the clay soil has the highest content of moisture. So even a dry soil, it contains some amount of moisture in it, whereas the clay soil, it has the highest content of moisture. Okay, so now let us do one activity to see whether the soil is having a moisture or no. Okay, so for this activity you need one boiling tube and soil sample, burner, then you need a stand. So these all apparatus, that is boiling tube, this burner and stand, these all are the apparatus which we use in the laboratory to perform the experiments. Okay, so now what you have to do, take a boiling tube first take a boiling tube, put 2 spoonful of soil sample in it, then heat it on a flame. Okay, now observe it. Now children, what you observe after some time? After some time, you may find that on heating, water in the soil evaporates and moves up and condenses on the cooler inner walls of the upper part of the boiling tube. Okay, so this is how we can say that a soil contains a moisture. So you will find that the water droplets on the upper part of the boiling tube, it means the soil contains a moisture. Understood children? Now children, let's move to the another property of soil, that is absorption of water by soil. What do you mean by absorption? It is the process of absorbing. Yes, it is process of absorbing. Absorption is nothing but to absorb, to imbibe. Okay, so every soil has a water absorption capacity. So each and every soil, it is having its own absorption capacity. Clays and loamy soils are most porous, hence can retain water in a large quantities. So this clay and loamy soils, they are most porous. Porous is nothing but the gaps, okay, the gaps present in the soil or the pores present in the soil, as I told you in the previous class, right? So porous is nothing but the gaps present in the soil or the pores present in the soil. So these clay and loamy soils, they are having a more pores, so it can retain the water in a large quantity. Retain is nothing but the hold, so it can hold more amount of water. Okay, so the next point is sandy soil do not absorb water, hence do not support much vegetation. So the sandy soil, it do not absorb the water, as you know it, hence it do not support the much vegetation. So you cannot grow many crops in the sandy soil because it do not absorb the water. Okay, so now children, let us do one activity to find out the percentage of water absorbed by the soil. Okay, so what are the things you need here? You need a funnel, you need one funnel, you need beaker, you need filter paper, and you need a dropper. These all are the apparatus which we use in the laboratory to perform some of the experiments. Okay, so first what you have to do, take a plastic funnel, take a filter paper. Okay, now you have to fold that filter paper and place it in the funnel like this. Okay, funnel like this. Then now take 50 gram of dry powdered soil and pour it into the funnel. Yes, next what you have to do, measure a certain amount of water in a measuring cylinder and pour it drop by drop on the soil. You have to measure some amount of water into the measuring cylinder. Okay, so in the laboratory you also get the measuring cylinder which is having the numbers on that cylinder. So you have to take a water into this measuring cylinder. Now you have to start pouring the water into this filter paper or on this soil drop by drop. Do not let all the water fall at one spot. That's why you have to use the dropper. Now pour water all over the soil. Keep pouring water till it starts dripping. Okay, so you have to keep pouring the water till it starts dripping in the beaker. Now what you have to do, subtract the amount of water left in the measuring cylinder. You have taken the water from the measuring cylinder, right? It will consider 2 ml, 3 ml, 4 ml, 5 ml like this. Yes, you have taken the water from this measuring cylinder by using a dropper, right? So subtract the amount of water left in the measuring cylinder after you pouring the water into this filter paper, then from the amount you started with. Okay, I will tell you here. Then this is the amount of water retained by the soil. How you have to calculate is means weight of soil, it is we have taken 50 gram of soil. Next, initial volume of water in the measuring cylinder, that will be considered as a U. initial volume of water is nothing but the water, how much water you have taken, whether you have taken 2 ml, whether you have taken 3, 4, 5 ml. Okay, in the measuring cylinder, that will be your initial volume of water. Then after pouring the water, when it starts dripping in the beaker, so that will be your final volume of water, how much water is remain in this measuring cylinder. Okay, so that will be considered as a VML. Okay, now volume of water absorbed by the soil. So how much water is absorbed by the soil? It is U minus V. You have to subtract initial volume of water minus final volume of water. So you will get the volume of water absorbed by the soil. Okay, you are having the formula to see the percentage of water absorbed, that is U minus V. So here it is this initial volume minus final volume divided by 50. This 50 is nothing but it is a weight of the soil into 100. So after solving this, you will get the percentage of water absorbed by the soil. Understood, children? So this is the third property of the soil. Which is the third property of a soil? Absorption of water by soil. Okay. Now children, let's move ahead with another topic, that is soil and crops. Okay, so different types of soils are found in different parts of India. So different kinds of soil are found in a different regions of our India. Okay, soil is affected by wind, rainfall, temperature, light and humidity. These are some important climatic factors which affect the soil profile and bring changes in the soil structure. So these are the following factors that decide the soil structure of that place. Which are those factors? Wind, rainfall, temperature, light, yes, then humidity. What do you mean by humidity? Yes children, do you remember what do you mean by humidity? Already you have learned this word. Yes, humidity is nothing but the amount of water vapor in the air. So that is called the humidity. So these all are the factors which affect the soil profile and bring changes in the soil structures. Which are those factors? Wind, rainfall, temperature, sunlight and humidity. Okay. Next is the climatic factors as well as the components of soil determine the various types of vegetation and crops that might grow in any region. So the climatic factors, which are those? Wind, rainfall, temperature, light and humidity. So these climatical factors as well as the components of soil. Okay, so the types of crops that will grow in the soil, it depends upon these factors as well as the properties of the soil also. Okay, so the next point is clayey and loamy soils are both suitable for growing cereals like wheat and gram. So the clayey and loamy soils, they are best for growing the wheat and gram. Okay, so because such soils are good at retaining the water. The next point is paddy can be grown in a clayey soil. So we can grow a paddy in a clayey soil because it having a good capacity to retain the water. Okay, next point is lentils. Lentils is nothing but the masoor. Okay, and other pulses can be grown in loamy soil. So lentils and other pulses can be grown in the loamy soil which drain water easily. Okay, the next point is cotton can be grown in sandy loam or loamy soil. So the cotton can be grown in sandy loam or loamy soil. Okay, because which drain the water easily. So you can grow this cotton even the sandy loam or the loamy soil. Understood, children? So there are some other crops which you can grow in sandy soils, that is potato, corn and peppers. And in the clay soil you can grow sprouts, broccoli, beans, cabbage, etc. In the loamy soil you can grow apples, carrot, cucumber, tomatoes, etc. Okay, so understood, children? Okay, now let's move to the another interesting topic, that is soil erosion. What do you mean by soil erosion? So the removal of topsoil or land surface by water, wind is known as soil erosion. So the soil erosion is nothing but, it is, suppose this is a land surface. So the removal of water surface, the removal of topsoil, here it is, this is called the topsoil. So the removal of this topsoil by the water, okay, by the heavy rain or because of the wind, so this is called the soil erosion. So how we can prevent this soil erosion? Deforestation should be avoided. Deforestation is nothing but the cutting of the trees. So by stopping the cutting of the trees, we can prevent the soil erosion. Okay, deforestation is nothing but the cutting of the tree. So instead of that, we can go for the afforestation. Okay, instead of that, we can go for the afforestation. Afforestation is nothing but the afforestation is nothing but the plantation. Okay, so deforestation is nothing but the cutting of the trees, whereas afforestation is nothing but the plant more trees. We can plant more trees. Okay, how we can prevent the soil erosion? Deforestation should be avoided and plant more trees, that is nothing but the afforestation. Understood, children? What do you mean by soil erosion? Soil erosion is nothing but the removal of topsoil or land surface by water, wind is known as soil erosion. Why this soil erosion happen, children? Can you tell me why this soil erosion will happen? Because of the cutting of the trees. Okay, by the cutting of the trees, this soil erosion will happen. So we can stop the deforestation. Okay, instead of that, we can adopt the afforestation. We can plant more trees. Yes, understood, children? Okay, so children, in this class we have learned the properties of soil. Which are those properties? Yes, percolation rate of water in soil, then moisture in soil, then absorption of water by soil, right? And even we have learned the soil and the crops. Then what do you mean by soil erosion? Yes, hope you understood all the concepts very well, children. Okay.